Today's passage is a tough one. I'm going to go through why I think it's tough, why I'm having a hard time understanding it, what I do understand about it, and then my best guess as to what it's saying. Romans 11:16. If the part of the dough offered as firstfruits is holy, then the whole batch is holy. If the root is holy, so are the branches. Previously, Paul was talking about the restoration of Israel. So, what in the world does this have to do with the restoration of Israel? Well, I guess if we're going to understand what first fruits have to do with the restoration of Israel, then I guess we're going to have to figure out what first fruits are. Deuteronomy 18:4. You must give them the best of your grain, your new wine, and olive oil, as well as the best of your wool when you shear your flocks. When you shear your flocks. Okay. When you shear your flocks is right after you do it. The grain is first to harvest. Your new wine is grape juice, so as soon as it's picked. The first fruits means at the time of harvesting anything, the first portion of it is the first fruit. I think this passage gives us a clue to what Paul is thinking. Deuteronomy 26:10 through 11. And now I bring the first fruits of the soil that you, Lord, have given me. Place the basket before the Lord your God and bow down before him. Then you and the Levites and the foreigners residing among you shall rejoice in all the good things the Lord your God has given to you and your household. Well, that's interesting. So when they first pick their crops, the first people to get the grapes or to get the grain are Gentiles, foreigners. I think this is what Paul has in mind here. He's thinking of the first fruits of salvation, of the gospel. And who gets it? The Gentiles. And he's referring back to Deuteronomy 26:10 and 11. One of the problems that we have today is we don't know if the Bible as well as the Jews did in the first century. They memorized huge sections of it, and we don't do that anymore. So we kind of have to make it up with references and searches and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's pretty clear that I think Paul was thinking of this passage in that quote. Here is the problem with the word holy. Remember the green thing where a lady is on a boat and she's turning green? So that means she's seasick. Somebody's starting a job and they say she's green. That means that she's inexperienced. Where the word green can mean many things. The word holy doesn't mean anything. In the Greek, there are many possible translations of that. So, translating the Greek word as holy is kind of a cop-out. Now, I'll show you where the Greek word is translated differently in the New Testament. But it's interesting is in the Good News translation, they actually opted for one of the possible Greek meanings. If the first piece of bread is given to God, then the whole loaf is his also. And if the roots of the tree are offered to God, then the branches are his also. They actually chose one of the possible Greek meanings. I don't see how their choice contributes to Paul's argument, but hey, at least they gave it a shot. Okay, Luke 2:23. As it is written in the law of the Lord, every firstborn male is to be consecrated, same word, to the Lord. Acts 9:32. As Peter traveled around the country, he went to visit the Lord's people, same word, who lived in Lydia. Hebrews 8:2. And who serves in the sanctuary, same word, the holy tabernacle set up by the Lord, not by mere human beings. This is just a sampling in one version. The word has many other possible meanings. We saw one where they actually translated in this passage as dedicated to the Lord. My problem is none of the possible meanings really seem to fit. So therein lies my problem. So now we get down to my best guess, and I think it comes back to this passage. What Paul is saying is, when they first pick their crops, they take it and they give it, the first fruits, to the foreigners and to the Levites. And they do that before they themselves can eat the first fruits. So if we go out there and we pick a bunch of grapes, the first grapes are given to the foreigners, and then they can eat. So I think that's the concept. The gospel went first to the foreigners because they're the first fruits of the gospel. And after it goes to the foreigners or the Gentiles, then it goes to the Israelites or the Jews. And I think that's what Paul has in mind here, but as I said before, I'm only guessing on this one. Well, we're not through with the tough passages. Next week, we're going to talk about the tree and the branches. So, next time, grab some coffee and some aspirin, and we will hit the tree and the branches.